Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. In this lecture, we're going to start adding props to our interior. Before that, I'll rename the existing collection to interior. Make sure to rename yours as well to keep things organized. Next, I'll create a new collection by right-clicking in the outliner, selecting New Collection, and renaming it Architecture. You can rename it by pressing F2. To move the interior object into this collection, select it, press M, and choose Move to Collection. Then pick Architecture. Now I'll hide the interior collection by clicking the eye icon or pressing H. I'll keep the character visible to serve as a scale reference while working on the props. For the props, I'll create a new collection. Right-click in the outliner, create a new collection, and rename it Props. Now I'll refer to my list of objects in the concept and start modeling them one by one. I'll start with the arches and pillars. To create the pillar, I'll press Shift and A, go to Mesh, and add a cylinder. Right-click on it and choose Shade Smooth. If it looks a bit odd, I'll go to the Object Data Properties, click on Normals, and enable Auto Smooth. Then I'll switch to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad. I'll zoom in or out using the middle mouse button or Control and the middle mouse button. Next, I'll go into Edit mode by pressing Tab, select all the vertices with A, and move them upward by pressing G and Z. I'll adjust the height and proportions of the pillar by scaling it until it looks right. Go into Edit mode for the mesh and press Z to switch to wireframe mode. This will let you select the back-facing vertices. If you don't do this, you'll notice that the back vertices don't get selected, as you can see here. So just be aware of that. Now move the selected vertices up by pressing G to move and Z to constrain the axis. Then scale down the vertices by pressing S. Finally, don't forget to rename the cylinder to pillar to keep things nice and organized. For the arch, I'll press Shift and A, go to Mesh, and add a circle. I'll rotate it by pressing R, X, and 90. Then I'll go into Edit mode, select the bottom vertices of the circle, and delete them by pressing X and choosing Vertices. Also delete the other half of the semicircle. Now I'll add a mirror modifier from the Modifiers tab to mirror the semicircle. I'll make sure clipping is enabled to avoid any gaps in the middle. Go back to Edit mode for the mesh. Select all the vertices and hit E to extrude them. Then right-click to release the extruded vertices without moving them. After that, press Alt plus S to scale them uniformly. Next, select the top vertices, press S followed by Z, and then 0 to align them along the Z-axis. Do the same for the other vertices by pressing S, X, and 0 to align them along the X-axis. Take your time to tweak the shape so it looks similar to what you see on the screen. Once you're happy with the shape, select all the vertices and move them up by approximately 3 meters above the ground. After that, select the vertices again and move them slightly along the y-axis. Make sure to apply the transforms by pressing Ctrl plus A while in object mode, not in edit mode. In the mirror modifier, enable the y-axis to mirror the arch along the y-axis as well. Then go into edit mode, select the edges by holding Shift plus Ctrl and make sure clipping is enabled. I forgot to do this earlier. Once that's done, press E to extrude and move the extruded edges along the y-axis by pressing Y. Finally, while in object mode, right-click and choose Shade Smooth and then enable Auto Smooth in the Data Object Properties under the Normals section. Once I've positioned the arch and pillar correctly, I'll apply all transformations by pressing Ctrl and A and selecting Apply all transforms. Next, I'll model the table. I'll press Shift and A, add a cylinder, and scale it down by pressing S and typing 0.2 to adjust the size of the tabletop. Scale it again on Z by clicking S and 0.2. Select the bottom face and scale it a bit by clicking on S. I'll position it using G and Z to align it properly. For the table legs, I'll add a cube by pressing Shift and A, going to Mesh, and selecting Cube. I'll scale it down to form a leg and adjust the width by pressing S and X or S and Y as needed. To create additional legs, I'll duplicate the first leg by pressing Shift and D, then rotate it by pressing R, Z and 45 degrees. I'll repeat this process until all 4 legs are in place. Once the table is complete, I'll select all its parts, press Ctrl and J to join them into a single object and rename it Table. I'll make sure each object is moved into its respective collection using M. For example, the table will go into the props collection. Finally, I'll save my work by pressing Ctrl and S or using Save As. That's it for this video. Take your time to model and organize your props and always refer back to the reference character for scale and proportions. In the next lecture, we'll continue adding more objects from the concept. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more Blender tutorials. See you next time.